This is the Behringer TD-3. It's a replica of the legendary Roland TB-303, and this sound is infamous in electronic music. To create a sequence, switch the second selector to write mode, click function, and then type in how many sequence steps you want. Now click time mode and type in the steps again. Okay, here's where it gets fun. I like to just key smash the keys until I have my notes, then I click the tap button and type in random octaves. After that, I go and reset the sequence and then type in random accents and slides. Click function when you're done and play the sequence. You're just gonna have to ignore the scratches and pops. This thing's kind of old now, but it still sounds good. And that's a sequence just by key smashing the notes in. To save a sequence, all you have to do is change the selector off of write mode, and then the pattern is saved according to the location of the first selector. At the top of the synthesizer, you have the control knobs that adjust the parameters of the sound. You can also change the waveform from saw to square, but there's also a secret oscillator off mode, and that just happens to be something I accidentally discovered in the making of this video. You'll hear it in about 15 seconds. And I have no idea if anyone else has also found this, but I was pretty shocked when I first heard it. So you'll see my initial impression. So I accidentally balanced the wave shape switch in the middle, which turned off the oscillator. Right here I realized what just happened and then immediately try to make it self-oscillate with the filter resonance. Now once I start to hear it, I'm immediately wondering how I can boost that signal, so I just send the output into the filter input. I bring up the volume and it's immediately fire. It's just hot to the touch. It's just heat. What is going on? That is some crazy stuff. Well, you know I'll be using that in future songs. I had no idea the TD-3 could do that just by balancing the oscillator wave shape in the middle. That's a MO feature. But you know what I realized what we're hearing right now sounds like? And here's why I like the scratches and pops on my 303 right there. Alright, time to make a new sequence. I'm gonna keep the oscillators off and experiment around with the sounds. I've got the TD-3 hooked up to the DJM for effects. I'm just gonna key smash it again for a random sequence. Honestly, I don't know what it's gonna sound like. I'm just drawing in something real quick and we'll find out what it sounds like together. Play in octaves, accents, and slides, and then there we go. That's it. Set the sequencer and ready to play. Here we go. Yeah, this sequencer is great for coming up with random sequences. I don't know why people hate it. Like, this is a great build for like tech house right here. And then there we go. We got it freaking out. And when I close the filter resonance and the decay, it'll sound more like a tom drum. And it's almost like the switch just stays there in the middle, like it's an Easter egg. Now I'm gonna close the filter cutoff. And now it sounds like something that would be coming from a drum machine instead of a synthesizer, especially a 303 synthesizer. Alright, I'm gonna draw in another sequence. This is gonna be 16th notes just to hear what the self-oscillation sounds like with the filter resonance by itself. And it doesn't matter what notes I'm playing because there's no keyboard tracking on the filter. Alright, let's hear what it sounds like. Just have a listen. These are 16th notes, and all I'm going to do is just change some of the parameters around on the synthesizer. Speed it up. And if you're wondering, this is what it sounds like backwards. So this is actually something I was able to recreate. Even when I turned the oscillator on, I was able to turn it back off and have it just sit stably in the middle. So I don't know what happened. It's something I just discovered on my TD-3. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but let me know. Okay, so I'm going to use the same notes from the previous sequence, but now I'm going to draw in the octaves, accents, and slides. I don't know what notes I even have played in anymore, and we're just going to hear what this sounds like. Alright. That's a pretty cool groove. Now let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to turn the oscillator back on just to hear what this sequence sounds like. Oh my god. What? Alright. You know what? This is why I like this sequencer. I would probably have never consciously programmed that. And I do a lot of that in my music. It's like the typing monkey approach. Literally. This is something that could be a legit track. I might have to do something with that. And honestly, I'm always surprised by this synthesizer, this 303. It's been going along since the 80s and still is just a sound that people are addicted to today, even now. Back to the oscillator off. And this is where I discover the TD-3 can also sound like a bird. And all I did was turn the distortion off. And now I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun with that. I'm gonna add some delay on the DJM. This is the trippiest forest of birds I've ever heard. So this is what the self-oscillation sounds like without distortion. Now I'll turn the distortion back on. And the little glitch sounds you hear are a result from those pops and clicks. Sometimes it ends up being a really happy accident. Let's find out what happens when I decrease and increase the distortion amount. Here's what it sounds like with the oscillator back on. Also, don't forget I'm feeding the output back into the input of the filter. Okay, I don't know why I played this, but it's the first thing I ended up playing. Alright. Alright. Oh. Very interesting. Here it is with the output plugged into the filter input. And then without. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and follow for more, and I'll see you next time.